Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. Kind of getting away from the intro now. I'm trying to think of something else to do, so I'm just jumping right into it. Just like the last video with just me starting the truck. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of something different to do. I was kind of getting bored with the other intro, so maybe I just won't do them at all anymore. The truck is kind of a mess right now. I dropped it off yesterday and I just picked it back up just a few hours ago. Time kind of got away from me yesterday. I did not get back to get it picked up. We weren't able to get to bed off last night. He had some things to do. I had some things to do. So the truck's going to be in my possession while he is working on the bed. And that way I can do some videos under the hood and under the bed, and that way you guys can see just a little bit better, more in depth on what it did take to do my exhaust initially. Yesterday I kind of had a different vehicle to drive. I had a soccer mom van that I was driving, but today I traded that back in and got me a nice little sports car to drive. It is the Mazda 3. It's a pretty sharp little car. It runs pretty good. It's got quite a bit of power. I think it's pretty nice. It's Missouri tags, so now I'm not even in Ohio anymore as I'm driving. But anyway, it's a Mazda 3. It's a pretty sharp car, hatchback, quite a bit of power. Actually, it's about the same color as my truck, so I just kind of noticed that. That's pretty ironic, to be honest with you. So maybe it was kind of meant to be. Maybe I'm supposed to buy this car. No, I don't think so. Anyway, getting back, I'm going to be doing tonight, I'm going to put the exhaust back on. I have that MBRP tail section. What this is the GP006 from MBRP. It comes in with no hangers or anything on it. It is for the second gens. It's bent up and over the axle, and then just has maybe about a 22.5 bend coming out the passenger side here. Initially, when I put this in, this is before I started doing videos, all I did was I have my downpipe coming off my turbo, and then I have this section of exhaust. This is an 8-foot section of straight 4-inch pipe that you can pick up from any of your local trucks, not truck stop, but like a mechanic's place that works on like bigger trucks, the semis and stuff like that. Any of those who do exhaust will have that in stock. So just go in there, and it probably comes in 8 and 10 foot lengths, probably only 10 foot lengths. I can't really remember. But what I did is I have a downpipe. I have the 8-foot section of 4-inch, and then I have this MBRP tail section that goes up and over my axle. And the reason I like that is because it eliminates about 3 to 4 different joints in there. The way I did it, I eliminated all that, and you know, the less joints you have limits the leak that you could have, I guess is the best way to say it. But you know, to get this length and stuff that I needed, how you like that smooth looking axle dump right there? Isn't that pretty cool? What that axle dump is actually this section right here of my old one. I cut it off and then put it on there. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. I think I had that in one of the videos, but I'm gonna take this off and show you what I did to get my length in there, where I needed to cut this 8-foot section off so this goes up and over the axle and comes out where you need it. I probably won't put my tip on yet, just because I don't know where I'm going to adjust it at for where my bed is. And this way I can put it on later on and it stays clean until I actually need to put it on. Because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to take a Scotch-Brite to it or if I'm going to leave it nice and shiny. So anyway, let me get that sweet little axle dump off of there, and then we'll get things set up with this and show you how I come up with the length there. Okay, so initially what I did to get this set up was, as my truck actually sits up high enough, I'm able to slide this under and have it sit about where it needs to be, just like so. And then I kind of positioned this where I thought it was going to be in where I wanted it to be in the truck, kind of like that, where, you know, that axle hoop was going to be directly over top of it. So, and then I took my level and I come off of the end of the level just like so. Now right now it's just a little bit far forward, and I plumbed up just like that and made my level plumb off the end of my pipe right there, and then I marked my pipe, and then I cut it off right there. So that's how I come up with where I needed to cut mine off at, is I put that right over top of my axle where I wanted it oriented in the truck, and then took my level and plumbed up. Again, I'm repeating myself, marked it and cut it off. So kind of had something like that right there. I've got it sitting further forward so you can kind of get an idea and understand what I'm talking about. So that's what I did. I don't know if it's right, wrong, and different. That's just what I did to make it work for me. So to put this back in the truck, now the only thing that I need to do is I need to weld this bracket on the new pipe, and then I'll have to make a new, I just had basically a muffler clamp and a soft clamp here holding it. I'm going to do away with that. I have this over here that I'm going to cut off of this support, and I am going to move it over in this area someplace. If I can put it there, that's great. And then there, my local muffler shop has these pieces of rod that you can buy, and I'm going to go get some of that. Or if you have round rod, you can actually take and just weld a nut to the end of your round rod, put a little bit more bead on there, ground a cone shape on it just like this, and that's something I can do too. But I don't think I have any 1/4 inch round rod. Pretty sure I know I don't, to be able to make my own. But you can see this bracket right here. I can just move it over to this location. The only thing that I'm not going to have is the ability to adjust my height, but if I put it on and bolt it on there, and then I cut that rod and weld it to the proper height, I never have to worry about adjusting my height. So right now I'll pull it back out of there, set it on top of the axle. I've got a new clamp right here that I'll put on there, and then I'll set the backside on a jack stand and get things kind of lined up where I want it, tighten that up, and then put this and weld that all back together. So right now that's what I'm planning on doing. There's just so many things that I want to do while it is down, and I know I say a lot, don't I? That's all right. So there's so many things I have planned that I want to do while I have something else to drive, and I don't have to worry about having my truck be fixed and ready to go that night. So this is just going to be kind of a hectic week trying to get everything done, along with everything else in my life that's going on. So after lining everything up, I got my pipe straight in line the way I like it there, and sitting back where I think I'm going to want it here. The tip will bring it out the rest of the way beyond the bedside, because that sticks back in there just a little bit. So with the help of the tip back there on the bench, that brings it out beyond the bedside and helps keep just a little bit of soot off the side of the truck. It is going to be a freshly painted bed, so I want to try and eliminate as much soot as I can on the side of the truck. You can see things are just a little bit different. I did have to cut about 1.5 inches off of the pipe, my exhaust here, to get everything kind of lined up the way I wanted. So it just took me just a little bit longer. just, you know, these are mass produced, so maybe not every single one is the same. I don't know. Maybe when I welded that hanger back up, I didn't get it the same because this hanger was busted also. I had to weld this side back on. I'm gonna have to cut and adjust the height of this here. So these two pieces are welded together, and then this hanger is just welded. This L shape is just welded on there. So I need to cut that here and then on the other side and drop that down and turn it just a little bit so it lines up just a little bit better. And I can weld that on the pipe and put some heat paint on it and then weld it back together up top here, and then this will all be good to go. The only thing I won't have done is my hanger back here. I'm just trying to decide what I want to do as far as having some adjustment. I like having that adjustment there, so I don't know what quite I'm going to do yet. I might just take and wrap some hillbilly it and wrap some wire around it to hold it up in place for right now. I just really don't know how I want to go about fixing that or taking care of making that hanger. I want to be able to have some adjustment, and I just don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. Yes, I don't know. So I guess I got to get that off there, get that cut apart so I can weld that back on there and go from there. All right, I have that cut apart and cleaned all up. Now I just need to take and weld it to that hanger and to the pipe itself and throw some of my temp paint on it. I have some silver over there. That way everything kind of blends in. I'll put that on there, then black will go on the hanger itself. This is just taking, as I jumble you around, this is just taking just a little bit longer than I thought. Of course, you know, I say it in every single video. Everything takes longer than what I usually think it's going to. So I'm looking at my hitch back here too. Another option that you would have if you wanted to is, you know, there's a series of holes all through here. There's some here, and they're just about the same distance apart. You could take and actually move this hitch back. I still really just don't think it will clear the bottom of the roll pan. Even if you did take these bolts out and move it back just a little bit, you can see there's another set of holes in there. You could move that back. Right now it's flush. That would be moving it back a good 2 to 3 inches. And you know, I just, where this is an orientation where the bottom of the roll pan comes down, you're still gonna hit the top of this. You would have to notch out the top of your, or notch out the bottom of your roll pan, and I just really don't want to do that. So I need to measure in between here and here and see about how long a piece of square tubing I need. Actually, that is just about the length I need right there. But like I said, I don't want to use this piece because it's already cut and welded together and everything else. I'm going to get one solid piece that goes all the way across. Now, one thing I could do if I wanted to is cut it off here and here, and then weld this piece to the bottom of my new cross piece. That's an option for me if I wanted to. This receiver tube is already good, I know that. That's just something that I could possibly do. It's already gusseted on top. Already has my chain hooks here, which actually I don't think I want my chain hooks there. Having to reach in behind the roll pan to hook those up. I just don't think that's going to be feasible for me. One thing I did want to do that I forgot, I wanted to weld a tab to the back of that roll pan to put my plug in. So it is like straight up and down right there. I forgot to do that before I dropped it off to him. This 4 flat is going to be gone. I'm going to take it completely out of the equation because I don't use it. If I do need a 4 flat, I have an adapter that plugs into my 7 round. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm going to get that welded on there. I try not to do any more welding videos. I did ruin one camera because when I was first getting started, I didn't know there was a such thing as welding filters for your camera. So I did ruin one camera already, so I'm going to get that welded on there, and I'll check back in just a few minutes after that's done and show you progress and show you what it looks like. We'll hang the tip on there so you can kind of get a final look on what it looks like. Okay, I have everything done. I tell you what, it is so flippin' humid and hot here. It was last week, it was clear in the 90s. I think we had a high one day last week with month, the real feel was like 106 degrees. So, and then over the weekend it cooled off and was in the 70s, but now it's just stupid hot again. You know, I'm losing light as it is, and I'm just wringing in sweat. My clothes are about soaking wet. And anyway, sorry, just rambling. I do have that all taken care of. You can see I cut that apart like I showed you. I welded that back together just a little bit lower, and then I have the L piece welded on the tail section itself, and it comes up. Everything is held in place. It is still just a little bit loose. You can see it moving back in there. That's because there is no support back here on this section itself. So I do need to build something to hold it in place, but I really don't want to do that yet, just because I want to see. I don't remember exactly where the bottom of the bed is. I know it's real close around in here someplace. So, and then that's a 6-inch tip. So, you know, I want to make sure before I fasten this up permanently, what height I want this at. So, about the only thing we have left to do, I mean, I can throw it on there so you can see what it looks like, is this tip. This is an MBRP. This is the dual wall tip. It is all stainless. And that'll sit just like that. And there you go. Looks pretty good. I think right now I am going to leave it nice and shiny. I'm not one big on chrome. As you can see, you know, on my one video I had pictures of my Harley on there, and I've got pictures of my Harley on, or the Harley that I did have, on Instagram. I don't really care for chrome at all. And that's just almost a little bit too shiny for me. I may eventually take some Scotch-Brite to that and dull it out, but you know, being right there by my tire, the road grime and everything else is going to take care of that for me too. So anyway, the only other thing I want to do yet while I'm have that off is I think I might take and build a support from a fuel neck. There's this cross piece right here with a hole in it. There's a hole right here. Just take a piece of flat stock, bend it on both ends, and bolt it in place, and that way that is supported just like that right there until I get my bed put back on. I think I said in the last video it is slated for 6-day repair without any supplements, but we've already ran into 2 supplements, so that's going to push it even further. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching very much. Hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you have not already done so, and hit that bell notification. Until next time, we'll talk to you later on. Bye-bye.